Don't tell me the sky's the limit when there are footprints on the moon, a quote by Hannah Spicer. To me, I found myself taken after my father and my brothers before me. I am very determined in my goals in life. I also, like my father, have always seemed to go beyond where I am now and try to reach for things that at the time seems out of reach, and I end up grasping them. I have a determination for art and for literature. In a classroom, I can quickly learn what leaves others hanging. I usually can calmly discuss problems that others would normally panic over. I'm also very stubborn when it comes to how I dress, because I'm a tomboy and usually dress like one too. My father does not like this about me. I'm a very funny, quirky person, especially when it comes to electronics. It's hilarious to me because my dad, who I take after mostly, cannot even figure out his own cell phone. I'm a very coordinated person when it comes to running on a track, but off the track, I'm about as clumsy as a bear. The only main sport I love is track, and it's because when I run, it's the only time I feel free from everything in my life. The drama that comes with middle school girls, the lack of a father and more of a coach in my life, and the pain of missing my mother every day. All this vanishes when I run, but it's the only thing I love more, poetry. I have a gift for writing poetry that I guess gets better over my young life. I haven't always loved poetry. The only reason is my mother. When I was little, I would always climb up on my mom and sit on her lap. She would read me poetry, sometimes hers, sometimes from a book. But here was her voice that held me as she read me those poems. That was one of the best childhood memories I have of my mother. I've always loved my mother. The only time I ever really listened to her was when she told me poems or gave me advice. The first person that had me write a poem was my mother's boyfriend, Jason. He was the one who inspired me not to just listen and read poetry, but to come up with my own ideas. He had a special way to get me inspired. He would always start talking about poetry, and I tell him I would never get inspired. So he would take me out wedding and always tell me I could write a poem about the mud against the window, or how the mud sounded when it hit the hood and the windows in the car. I would always get inspired. He loved hearing my little voice and let us miss the golden rumble. He knew me so well that my mother said we reacted as if we could hear the voices in each other's head. So when he was in a truck incident and killed immediately, it took a toll on me, and I didn't write poetry for a good 5 years. I hope I can accomplish the one thing he wanted me to. My Uncle Jason wanted me to come out of my shell and express myself, as he said. He always wanted me to show people what poetry meant to me, to present my poetry to the world. I know, and most importantly, to show people closest to me what's in my heart. I don't know when or where, but that's my promise to Uncle Jason, and I intend on keeping it.